Hey guys, this is Gabriel Lorenzi, creator of the blog Grupo Dicas, one of the biggest travel blogs in the world, and today I am here to tell you what is the perfect itinerary for Tuscany. Let's make it very clear, there is no perfect itinerary, forget these video titles. In fact, there is the perfect itinerary for you, so we are going to give you some really cool tips about the coolest cities, where is each one and which ones we think are worth visiting, and then you can set up your itinerary according to your taste and amount of days. We will show you the route, and we did which ones we think are the cities that are worth staying more or less, and then you organize because there's no fixed itinerary. So these are going to be very quick and useful tips. So don't forget to give us that like, subscribe to the channel because that really helps us a lot, and buckle up. Well, the dream of many tourists is to visit Tuscany. We were able to visit it and we really found it to be a sensational place. It's a very nice trip, the weather, the food is sensational, the wines you will drink. If you like wine, you will drink a lot of wine, and it's a very nice place that has a lot of history, a lot of beautiful sceneries and incredible landscapes. So it's worth it. Invest in this trip because it's really sensational. We ended up staying 5 days in Rome, and then from there we rented the car and went to Tuscany, and we ended up staying for 8 days. So I'll tell you what our itinerary was, our planning, and then you can adjust it well. You can either arrive directly in Florence or try to catch a plane that goes to Florence. If you don't know Rome is a sensational city. I think it's the most different city in the world. We liked it very much, and we have been twice because we think it's very nice and there are many sights to see. There's even a video we made about what to do in Rome, which is very long because there is a lot, so you can't miss anything because there are many sensational and historical places to visit. So if you have the opportunity, start your trip there. You don't need a car there, okay? Then you can rent the car there on the last day. So to understand Tuscany a little bit, let's look at the map here to get you situated. First thing you need to know, there are a few outstanding cities. The first one is Florence. Florence is the biggest city in Tuscany. It is almost the most touristic and the one you will stay probably the most days. So that's where you have to centralize your itinerary. There are two other cities that we used there as a stopping point, which were Siena and San Gimignano. They are three very cool and very historical cities. Florence is much bigger than the others. San Gimignano is a smaller Florence. There are people who called San Gimignano the Manhattan of Italy because of the high buildings that the families made to dispute the power, but we think the comparison is a little extreme because it's not that much. The town is small. There are 15 tall buildings there, but nothing that has to do with Manhattan or with New York. But it's a nice city, and Siena is also a city compared to the other cities in Tuscany that are very small. It's a big city, and all three are spread out, so you can set up your stopping point there. You stay in these cities and from there move to the others. Why? We don't think it's a good idea to do one day in each city because you will have to book several hotels. You will have to check in, check out every day, get settled in the hotel, and the next day you leave and go to another city. We found it easier to take one of these three cities, stay for 2 or 3 days in each, and from there go to the others. They are 40 minutes less than an hour away. They are close and it's much easier. So these three were the ones we chose. We started with Siena because Siena is closer to Rome. If you go up to Rome, the first place you arrive is Siena. We stayed 3 days there and we liked it very much. It's very nice. One day you reserve just for the city. There are very nice hotels that sometimes have their own vineyards, plantations, so it's a really different place and worthwhile. It's very countryside, this feeling of being in the countryside, of being in Tuscany. And what did we do in the other 2 days? We set aside 2 days to visit other cities that are close to Tuscany. There are two that you can visit in the same day, Montalcino and Montepulciano. They are two beautiful towns, and for those who are wine fans, Montalcino is the most interesting stop. It's there that the famous Brunelos are made, which is a renowned wine there in the whole world. It's produced only there. It's a controlled production, and there is also the Rosso di Montalcino, which is also another very good wine line. So our tip, go there and visit a winery when you arrive in town. town or asking any other town there in Siena where we will be staying, it's very easy to find a good winery that has a good tourist structure for you to visit and taste the wines. You will spend the whole afternoon there. It's sensational. And Montepulciano we ended up visiting the other day because it's close also to Montalcino. We thought there was not much there. It was very fast, but the trip is beautiful and the road is good. These little towns, even though they don't have many attractions, if you include it just to get to know this itinerary, you just leave one town and go to the other. Going through these roads in Tuscany ends up being a tour on its own. So we got to know it very quickly, and then we went back to Siena. So we spent 3 days in Siena, and then from Siena we went to San Gimignano by car. I think it took us about 40 minutes. It's very close. Oh, and a personal tip, if you're going to rent a car, Italy is one of the cheapest places in the world to rent a car. It's very nice and very easy to drive there on the roads. And a tip, use the price comparator. It's a sensational tool that we always use. I'm going to leave here the link in the description. You click on show more, I'll leave in the description all these links that I'll mention here. This one from the car comparator is very good because it compares all the car rental companies and shows you the best price. They have promotions at unbeatable prices, so it's the lowest price you will find guaranteed. Make a comparison with the others, but you will see that it gets really cheap prices. So this makes the trip even more enjoyable and you won't spend so much on car rental. And then arriving in San Gimignano, we ended up staying only 2 days. It's a city that's not so big. It has a very nice history. The families there disputed. Whoa. Whoops, there's someone here with me, I guess. The most powerful families in the city fought for power by building the tallest buildings, the tallest towers. You will see that there are many tall towers, and that's what gives the city the charm, which many people say even forms a skyline like New York's, which we think it's a bit exaggerated, but we think is a different city. It's very nice to walk around, enjoy the city, explore. The hotels are very homely, very quiet, so we like it very much. There are many wineries nearby. There are lots of nice things to eat, local restaurants. We thought it was very worthwhile, and a town that's very close that you can visit on the second day we visited is Volterra. We also found it very nice. It follows the same style as the others. Small town, has a square, has a church, nice places to eat, wineries around. We went there quickly by car. I think it took 20-30 minutes. We ended up visiting Volterra. It's also very nice to put on your trip. Guys, if you have any questions, no matter how silly they may be, send them to us and we'll be happy to help you. Send it on social networks. That's even easier. Send a direct message on @Lorenzi and we'll be happy to help you, and follow us there. We're always traveling around the world showing travel tips in a very cool way, and the family routine for little ones that are a blast. So send us a message there and we'll gladly help you organize your trip. So we stayed 3 days in Siena, we stayed 2 days in San Gimignano, and the place that we stayed the longest was Florence, and we stayed 5 days in Florence. And why? Florence is the biggest city and you need at least 2 days to know it, so we ended up opting for 3 days to know Florence. We liked it very much. There's no need, okay, in 2 days you get to know everything. There's the Piazza of Florence, which is very nice. It's where the cathedral, which is the most important in the city, and the square with the restaurants. There's the Uffizi Gallery, which is one of the biggest in the world, one of the biggest museums, one of the most important in the history of Italy. So 2 days are good. We stayed 3 and we liked it because it was possible to do everything calmly and enjoy the city a little more. The night is also very pleasant because the others are very small. There's almost no nightlife, there is no movement, and then the other days you end up using them to visit the nearby cities. A day is very nice. One day that we really liked was when we spent some time to Pisa and Lucca. By train you spend 1 hour, and by car you spend also the 50 minutes. It's very easy. Oh, the train, guys, it's very easy to use in Europe. You can go from anywhere to anywhere. There's a train station, so the tip, use and abuse the trains. Also, if you don't like to rent a car, or for somewhere that you don't have a car available, there's also a train ticket comparator that I'll leave the link here below. It compares the cheapest train tickets on the best train companies in Europe. It's very good and it's cheap. We use it a lot to go from one place to another to make some trips, both in Italy and in other countries. We like it a lot. And then you arrive in Pisa. Pisa doesn't have that much to do. There is the famous Tower of Pisa, which is very nice. It's in a very nice square next to the Basilica, the church, which is also the church of the city of Pisa. There is a museum next to it, a baptistry where children are baptized, and a cemetery. So there are several attractions in a single square. In about 3 or 4 hours you can see everything. It's not so touristy. There are not so many things for you to waste time there. So our tip is, we went there in the morning, enjoyed it, had lunch there because there were nice restaurants right on the way, leaving the Tower of Pisa, and then in the afternoon we went to Lucca. Lucca is a very nice town. I wanted to go especially because my family, my ancestors, great-grandfather, great-great-grandfather are from there. Their origins from there, and I wanted to go there, but there are also many people who go there because it's a nice tourist spot. The city is very small. It's inside a wall. They built a huge wall to protect the city at the time when there were some wars and invasions. So you enter through this wall. It's a very nice one because you will be inside a totally surrounded city, and it's much quieter and much smaller than the others. So it's nice for you to see also many different styles of cities, but it's also a 3-4 hour walk. Have a gelato, the Italian gelato. Guys, this is a sensational chip. Use and abuse of the gelatos in Italy because they are sensational. It's ice cream, they call it gelato, and it's really good. We loved it, we tasted it so many times, and we couldn't get enough. It's amazing. And to research all this on the spot, of course, you won't know exactly everything. We use the map a lot, we use Google Maps, we use the apps to locate ourselves, to research the places, the opening hours to see if the places are working. We use cell phones a lot. The easiest way that we always indicate for you to use your cell phone abroad is with an international prepaid SIM card. Do not use the plan from your country, from your operator. Do not activate the international roaming because it's much more expensive. The price is absurd. We always use a chip. There's a very good one that we have used it in all our last trips. I'll even leave the link here below. It's a very good company that delivered it to our house in a few days. We received it with a very good manual. They always send everything organized. It was very fast, and we arrived at our destination, Italy. We got off the plane and already put the chip in, and we started using the cell phone, and were able to use the internet everywhere. The nice thing about this company is that the signal was very good in all those cities in Italy that are further away. We already had some experiences with others that did not work in these places, and we had problems. Imagine not being able to access the map, the route from one place to another. So buy the chip before in your country. It's worth it. The cost benefit, we think it's much better, and the comfort and practicality is not to mention. And then we returned to Florence, enjoyed the rest of the day and night in Florence, and then took another day in Florence to organize things, the bags. The last day is always a little more complicated. We always leave it free so we can plan, take it easy, and not have to rush with everything. And an important point in Florence and Rome, and also in Pisa, the tourist attractions have long lines. The Vatican is also absurd, so for the love of God, buy the ticket beforehand. Don't leave it to buy the time because it's more expensive. It's always more expensive at the time than over the internet. You will pay the IOF tax of 6% because it's an international purchase in another currency, and you will lose a lot of time in the lines that are absurd. At the Colosseum, we saw lines that took more than an hour and a half for the person to buy the ticket. So buy everything before. It's good because you buy in one place. We'll leave here the link of a site that we buy the tours, which is always the cheapest, and it's one of the biggest sites in the world, so they are reliable. We never had problems. We recommend. There is a card in Rome that's nice for you to use because it has all the tours of Rome and the Vatican included. It's cheaper. It's a ticket combo. It also has the Florence and Venice tours. It has all of them. So organize your trip beforehand. Buy the tours that will save you time and money. And that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel. That really helps us a lot. And don't miss the video that I think is the best in Italy, which is how to save money on your whole trip to Italy. It's a step-by-step guide that we created for you to plan your whole trip from beginning to the end, saving a lot on everything, hiring the best service, and with the best tips. So it's a step-by-step guide for you to plan your entire trip. I'll leave it here on the side along with the playlist that has all the other videos from Italy. So guys, thanks a lot. I hope you enjoyed the video and have a nice trip.